How many bags of feed do I need to raise 1,000 pieces of catfish to table size? This is one of the biggest questions I receive every week. If you are planning to raise 1,000 pieces catfish in 2026, even if you are raising more or less than that, and you don't know the exact cost of producing it, this video can save you from losing money. And frankly speaking, I say this with all humility and sincerity of heart. One reason many farmers are not making profit in their farming business is because they do not count their costs before venturing into the production cycle. And in this video, I won't be exaggerating. I will show you what is obtainable, and you will practically see by yourself the step-by-step costs of producing 1,000 catfish to table size, considering the current realities in Nigeria in 2026. Believe me, you don't want to skip this video for anything in this world. Since we are talking about total cost, I will be breaking down the real cost in three major areas: the cost of juveniles, the cost of feed, and the management cost. Management cost includes your cost of labor, cost of treating your fish, logistics, and so on. But before we talk about money, which we will, let me quickly give you the basis for this calculation. We are stocking 1,000 pieces of catfish juveniles. You see, a juvenile fish is about the size of 9 to 11 centimeters. So take note of this. Of course, you can do more, but for the basis of this calculation that we'll be doing today, we are considering 1,000 pieces of standard catfish juveniles between the size of 9 to 11 centimeters. Our target market size is 1 kg. And what this means is that after the production cycle, if we take one fish out of the pond averagely and weigh that fish, what we will get is 1 kg approximately. The feed type we are considering is the commercial floating feed. So there are different kinds of feeds that are not floating, and there are feed that are not commercial. If you produce a floating feed on your farm, you have a feed mill where you produce fish feed for your fish, and then you produce floating feed. That is floating feed, but not commercial. What it means is that your production cost will be lower than that of the commercial feed. So what we are considering here today is the commercial feed type, which is floating. Also, there can be sinking pellets. If you use that, that will also reduce your cost of production. But for the basis of this calculation, what we are considering is you go to the market, to the open market, to buy a floating fish feed for your fish. And that is what we are considering in this calculation. The pond system can be earthen, it can be tarpaulin ponds, it can be concrete tanks, it can be plastic tanks, but not drums, not small bowls, and all sorts of that, okay? And finally, there will be proper feeding, there will be sorting and grading when necessary, and there will be good water management. If you watch this video to the end, I promise you will never underestimate the cost implications in catfish farming. And this is where the secret is in the business of fish farming. Because not everyone who is farming fish is really doing the business of fish farming. But I'm not going into that detail today. I already did a video on it. You will find it somewhere around here. Yes. And I will put the link to that video in the description of this video. It is about big profits in fish farming. The hidden secret to making money in fish farming. Now, let's get straight to business. All right, so we want to know the costs of rearing 1,000 pieces of catfish to table size. And in this case, we are talking about 1 kg average weight. 1 kg average weight. What this means is that at the end of the production cycle, we will take one fish out averagely, and when we weigh that fish, it will give us approximately 1 kg. And the duration with which you can achieve this 1 kg average weight differs based on how well you manage your feed, how well you feed, and based on some other reasons that I will mention in the course of this video. So The feed conversion ratio that we'll be working with in this video will be 1.25. It will be 1.25 to 1. So what this means is that one catfish will consume a feed of 1.25 kilogram of feed to attain a weight of 1 kg fish. 1.25. So is this clear? What it means is that before a fish will attain 1 kg body weight, it would have consumed a fish feed of 1.25 kilogram feed. All right, so that's straightforward. That is what FCR is all about in fish farming. Now, it is worthy of note to know that the FCR of different feed brands varies depending on the producer, and also the size of the feed also differs. So a 2 mm feed may have a different FCR than a 3 mm feed, and it differs from a 4 mm feed, 6 mm feed, and all of that. But how I arrived at 1.25 FCR to 1 is a whole lot of another story that I would not want to put into this video, so it won't be too long. So, but for the purpose of this video, we'll be talking about what are the quantity of feed and quantity of other costs, including juvenile, including feed, including management costs. So what will give us the total cost of rearing 1,000 pieces of catfish to table size? That's what we'll be doing in this video, and we'll be working with the realities of 2026. Okay, now from this we can deduce that to achieve 1,000 pieces of catfish at an average weight of 1 kg, we will need 1,250 kilograms of feed. 1.25 kg to 1 kg. Then we're now talking about 1 ton, which is 1,000 kg. We will need 1,250 kg of feed to achieve 1,000 kilogram of fish. All right, that's clear and straightforward. Now, this 1,000 kilogram of fish that we'll be achieving can be achieved in 4 months, can be achieved in 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. It depends on how well the farmer manages the feed and some other reasons that I've mentioned earlier, which includes proper feed management, water management. So basically, we'll be getting straight into the business. And honestly, there's really no one rule to this. Your feeding plan should be designed according to how it suits you, how best it's convenient for you, and how well you can manage your feed. It's not a crime to say I want to achieve 1,000 kilograms from 1,000 pieces of fish in 8 months. It's just that it could be a waste of time. But if you're not losing anything, if you have other things to bank on, and if it sits well with you, fine. But if you want to do a shorter period, whether you are choosing a short or longer duration is not really an issue. But as long as you tick the boxes and say this is what works best for me at this time, this is what I need, based on several other reasons that need to be considered. So there is no rule of saying you want to go with 4 months. It could be 5 months, it could be 6 months, it could be 4 months and 2 weeks, just based on your feeding plan. And your feeding plan will have to depend on a lot of other things, possibly capital, possibly your availability to feed. Because if you'll be going with this 4 months, you have to feed twice daily. All right, you have to feed twice daily. Availability of those who will manage the feeding well, because you don't want to underfeed and you don't want to overfeed at the same time. So, but I want to save all this, so this video won't be too long. Let's go into the calculations proper. So, if you follow this feeding plan we'll be doing in this video, and you manage your feeding well, you manage your water well, all other things being equal, you will be achieving this 1,000 kilogram of fish feed in 4 months. Yes, in 4 months. In 4 months. So please note that if other things are not equal, as I have suggested, yours can be in 5 months, it could be in 6 months, or however the case may be. Okay, but if all other things are being equal, you will achieve it in 4 months. All right, so we have the item, we have the unit cost, we have the quantity, and we have the amount here. So let's begin with juveniles. Remember, we mentioned that it has to be standard juveniles of about 9 to 12, 9 to 11, or 9 to 12 centimeters, the case may be. The unit cost varies depending on the location, so it's within a range of maybe 80 naira to 100 naira, or more or less, depending on the quality and possibly your bargaining power or your source. But for any reason, don't compromise your quality. So, but for the basis of this video and calculation, we'll be using 100 naira as our unit costs. So quantity, we are going for 1,000 pieces, so we have 1,000 here. 1,000 times 100, that's 100,000 naira. This is in naira, amount is in naira, okay? So the next thing, we have different sizes of feed. We have the 2 mm feed, but I'll be using 2 different kinds of brand feed. I'll be using Alaqua 2 mm, Alaqua, and I'll be using Blue Crown 2 mm, 2 mm Blue Crown. So what this means is that before arriving at 1.25 to 1 FCR, I have factored all of this feed brand into the calculation. But I just do not want to go into all of this because it will take another time. We can do that in a video. If there are comments around this, if there are questions as relating to me doing a video to explain this, then I will do that. But for the meantime, let's go ahead with this. 2 mm Alaqua is sold for 34,000 naira. Remember, we are using the current realities in Nigeria, and it may still differ depending on your own location. These prices I'm using is the current price in Nigeria in 2026 in the southwest region, and precisely in the city of Akure. So based on your location, there may still be a slight difference in these prices. So in your own calculation, you want to adjust the prices accordingly as it is in your location. So 34,000 naira 2 mm, we'll be needing 2 bags. 2 bags. Meanwhile, a bag is 15 kg, so this is 30 kg feed. All right. So 2 bags of this is 68,000 naira. 2 mm Blue Crown is being sold for 31,350. Yes, you also need 2 bags. 2 bags of this is 62,700. All right, so the rest of the feed we'll be working with now is Blue Crown. We only need Alaqua to start with, and then 2 mm Blue Crown, and the rest will work with Blue Crown. So we'll go with 3 mm of Blue Crown. Is being sold for 27,000 naira. You need 4 bags. 4 bags, 4 of these Yeah, so we have 108,000 naira. For 4 blue crown, this 4 is being sold for 25,700 naira, and you will need 16 bags of this. 16 bags. 16 bags of this. That's 411,200 naira. Then 6 blue crown. This is being sold for 24,200 naira, and you will need 60 bags of this. Okay, and this is in millions already. Yes, 1,452,000 naira. So the next thing that we want to consider now is the cost of labor, cost of logistics, cost of medication, miscellaneous, and any other thing that is in that category of management cost. So we want to put all of those things, all other things being equal. Let's put it at 50,000 naira per month. And since we are doing this in 4 months, that's 50,000 naira times 4. So this has included the cost of pumping water, cost of labor, because the people who will be doing it will not be doing it for this fish alone. Or if you are doing this kind of thing, it means that the security, if you are doing it in your house now, it means that the security cost will not only be on the fish, but you will share the security cost with the security cost of your house and for the fish. All right, so we are putting all of these for 1 month. Security cost, medication cost, logistics, and all of those, and labor cost as 50,000 naira for 1 month. So if we multiply by 4, that's 200,000 naira. So we put the total cost of this at 200,000 naira for 4 months. So we call it management cost. The cost for managing the fish is 200,000. All right, so the next thing for us to do is to complete this up. 1,000 pieces, 2 bags is 30 kg, because 1 bag is 15 kg. All right, 1 bag is 15 kg, so 2 bags here is also 30 kg. 4 bags is 60 kg. 16 bags, 16 times 15 kg, that is 240 kg. 60 bags times 15, that's 900 kg. So we also want to total this to know what's the quantity of feed that we'll be using. 60, 120. So that's 1,260 kilogram of feed. So this is what we'll be using. Remember, our FCR says before we can achieve 1 kg of fish, we have to feed 1,250 kg of feed. So what it means is that this is how much we'll feed. It means on no account must your feed wastage be more than 10 kg. So you want to, this is your feed wastage. Feed wastage. You want to ensure that whatever you are feeding, the allowance for wastage is only 10 kg. It means that you want to make sure that while you are feeding, you are not wasting feed around your pond area. You are not feeding the water, you are feeding the fish. So it means that whenever your fish is not taking feed from you, you stop feeding. You observe what is wrong, stabilize the conditions before feeding can continue. Okay, so the total of this 7 plus 2, 9. Yes. All right, so this is the total cost of rearing 1,000 pieces of catfish to table size to an average weight of 1 kg, because table size could mean 2 kg, it could mean 3 kg, it could mean 1.5 kg. So, but as you can see, we have considered the cost of juveniles, we have considered the cost of feed, we have considered the management costs that include labor, cost of treating your fish, medication. We also considered security, logistics, and miscellaneous. But what does this mean? 2,401,000. It means that this is the total cost of producing 1,000 pieces to table size. So how do we now get the cost for 1 kilogram? We divide by 1,000. It means that costs for producing 1 kg is 2,401.9 naira. So we can say 2,402 naira is what will cost you to produce 1 kilogram of fish to table size. So what do you do with this information? You do your market survey, and it's not difficult to do. Just go to the market in your location and ask the women that sell fish there that if you were to sell fish for them, if they were to buy from you, how much will they buy? They will tell you the current prevailing price, and with that you will adjust, you will look at your profit margin from this place. For instance, in the city of Akure, currently in 2026, an average fish of 1 kg is being sold for 3,200 naira, 3,200 naira per kilogram, and some people sell for more. So the case is different if we are talking about smoking size of about 300 grams to 600 grams. The prices are usually different. So the bigger fish usually command higher price. So we are talking about table size here. So what it means is that if in your location 32 is obtainable, you want to subtract 32 from 2,402 naira. For me, I think this is a very good deal. Meanwhile, if you are using other methods, you can even make more money. I mean, if you're a farmer who produces your fish feed by yourself, you have a feed mill, your cost of production will be lower because you are not, these guys who you bought this feed from are already making their own profits. Okay, they're already making their profits. So it means that this will be out of it and you will make better profits. There are also other methods like I mentioned earlier, using the sinking pellets, which may need some more technical know-how or feeding management, because not everyone knows how to use those kind of feed. But if you use those kind of feed well, you can get the same results and still get your cost of production far lower than this. And what does that mean? It means more profit. Okay, so the cost, this is the total cost of rearing 1,000 pieces of catfish to table size. 2,401,900 naira as the current realities in Nigeria in 2026. So you see, fish farming is not expensive. What is expensive is ignorance. And really, if your production capacity is higher, you will make more profits. Fish farming is a game of numbers. If you double your production capacity, your unit cost of production will not double. It means you will get to make more profits. If this video makes sense to you, kindly leave a comment and tell us what stood out for you. Please hit the like button and follow this page if you want more videos like this. Thank you.